Men, you know how women are always suggesting something looks really good on you, and you think it's because they want to change you? It's the exact opposite. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com is underwear reimagined, the ideal solution for all that squirming and adjusting you're experiencing. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com releases you from pinching, pulling, and restricting. And trust me, they love the way it looks on you. Frigo by RevolutionWear.com. The revolution starts below.
A lot has changed since Sandy Stimpson became mayor. Mayor Stimpson made the tough choices, and now big things are starting to happen here in Mobile. Thanks to Sandy, Mobile is on solid financial footing. We have new police cars, fire trucks, roads, and parks. Businesses are moving here, and we have cruise ships back in port. The momentum is real. Let's not stop now. Re-elect Sandy Stimpson for mayor.
Paid for by Sandy Stimpson from Mayor, P.O. Box 70106, Mobile, Alabama 36670.
From the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios, this is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to News Radio 710 WNTM. We're back here with McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group. McNeil Aaron's Lambert Financial Group can be found online at malfinancial.com. You can find them also by calling 251-666-5000. That's 251-666-5000. Here with John McNeil, Ed Aarons, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. Before we get started, let me tell you that Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Start off normally with Ed Aarons offering inspirational thoughts.
Uncle Henry, this one is entitled A Man and a Fork. There's a young guy who had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he'd been given 3 months to live, and so as he's getting his stuff in order, he called his priest and had him come to his house to discuss certain aspects of his final wishes. He told him which songs he wanted sung and what scripture he'd like to have read and what outfit he wanted to be buried in. And everything was in order, and the priest was getting ready to go, and the young man suddenly remembered something important to him. He said, "Oh, there's one more thing, Father." He said, "This is very important." He said, "I want to be buried with a fork in my right hand." And the priest, looking at the young fella, says, "But what are you talking about?" And the young guy says, "Well, that surprises you, doesn't it?" He says, "Well, to be honest, I'm puzzled by the request," said the priest. And the young man explained, "My grandmother once told me this story, and from that time on, I've always tried to pass along the message to those I love and those who are in need of encouragement." He said, "In all my years of attending socials and dinners, I always remember that when the dishes of the main course were being cleared, somebody would inevitably lean over and say, 'Keep your fork.' It was my favorite part because I knew something better was coming, like velvety chocolate cake or deep dish apple pie, something wonderful and with substance. So I just want people to see me there in that casket with a fork in my right hand, and I want them to wonder, what's with the fork? Then I want you to tell them, 'Keep your fork, the best is yet to come.'" And the priest's eyes welled up with tears of joy as he hugged the young man goodbye, and he knew this would be one of the last times he'd see him before his death. But he also knew that the young fella had a better grasp on heaven than he did. He had a better grasp of what heaven would be like, more so than many people twice his age with twice as much experience and knowledge, and he knew that something better was coming. At the funeral, people were walking by the young man's casket, and they saw the suit he was wearing and the fork placed in his right hand. Over and over, the priest heard the question, "What's with the fork?" And over he smiled. And during the message, the priest told the people of the conversation he'd had with the young man shortly before he died. He told them about the fork and what it was about to symbolize to him. And he told the people how he could not stop thinking about the fork, and told them that they probably would not be able to stop thinking about it either. And he was right. So the next time you reach down for your fork, let it remind you ever so gently that the best is yet to come.
I've never heard that one before.
That's
Great.
nice.
That is really nice. Now, you have a little bit on global warming for us?
Global warming, interestingly enough, is no longer called global warming.
I've noticed that.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Climate change.
climate change. Interestingly enough, there's an Australian geologist, a university professor, and also an earth scientist who says, okay, where does carbon dioxide really come from? Does it come from the exhausts of our car and all the stuff we throw down the drain and that we use for cleaning fluids that are not considered green? And he said, do to limit that. He said we drive hybrid cars, we throw away all non-greening cleaning agents, replace 97 or 79-cent bulbs with $9 bulbs. We use only 2 sheets of toilet paper per visit. Put a brick in your toilet tank reservoir to limit the amount of water that's going to be used up every time you flush. But he said all of this went down the drain in 4 days when the volcano in Iceland erupted. They said also, remember back in 1991 when Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines? It just about totally stopped air transportation. Remember, they wouldn't let airplanes fly through the ash and the smoke and stuff like that. Enough to totally exceed all of the greenhouse gases came out of this volcanic eruption, and he said it exceeded all of the greenhouse gases emitted by the human race over the last thousands of years. The moral of the story: enjoy your hybrid, it's cheaper to operate. Buy those $9 light bulbs, they last longer, and give the world a hug and enjoy your day. And as far as global warming is concerned, in actuality, the planet has decreased an average of 0.7 of a degree over the last 20 years.
Wow. Now, I don't hear that very often
No,
in
you
the
gotta listen
media.
to the other side of the story. You know, all these tree huggers, they say, oh, we're ruining the planet.
You're listening to McNeil, Ahrens, and Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com. You always have a worst joke for us, Ed Ahrens. Do you have a worst joke?
Uncle Henry, this is interesting. Something that Cicero back in 43 BC wrote about what was going on in his country at that time. He said, the poor work and work. The rich exploit the poor. The soldier protects both. The taxpayer pays for all three. The wanderer rests for all four. The drunk drinks for all five. The banker robs all six. The lawyer misleads all seven. The doctor bills all eight. The undertaker buries all nine. But the politician lives happily on account of all 10.
Great. Things, some things stay the same from era to era.
From 43 BC to 2017.
So we've had inspiration. We've had a joke with McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial Group. An update on the economy and the market.
Okay, Uncle Henry, the market is trudging along beautifully. New records are being set every day.
I have noticed those headlines. It's still quite a lot of people almost puzzled. It just keeps it keeps chugging.
You know, we talked about this numerous times about we're in the middle of a bull run that's lasted over 8 years, and the average for most bull runs is only 4 years. So some of the talking heads are saying that this run-up is going to continue through August. And then there's going to be a decline that could result in a major correction, which means greater than a 10% change in the values in the market. Home sales are up car sales are down. Politics are even crazier than ever. We've talked about that a lot this morning. In 2010, a bill by the name of, was called Dodd-Frank, became law to try to correct problems that may have caused the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. You know, the Dodd-Frank laws and rules, they affect our industry, and they also affect banking industries.
Right.
That's where you're going to see it. It's going to be the most evident. You see it and we see it in our industry because we're doing it every day, but people will, the common person will see it in banking regulations. You know, you can't just do things at a bank that you used to be able to do. You can't just call the bank and have them, you know, do something for you over the phone, or you know, move money around, or go get a car loan or a house loan without giving a hair sample. It seems like these days. Right. You know, and I went and got my mortgage about 5 years ago, so around 2012. It was probably a 3-month process of all the things that they had to have. I mean. Just every single little thing, and that's because of all of the different, you know, regulations and things like that were put in place.
It seems like Congress is tasked with the responsibility of, if something gets broken, the only way to fix it is to create a new law. So, but anyway, this Dodd-Frank is in the process of possible elimination or modification. In fact, an example of that in our industry is that the Department of Labor just came up and implemented a new rule or new law called the fiduciary rule, which forces financial advisors to act in the best interests of their clients. Duh. Man, I hate to think that some advisors have been not doing so. But, for example, everybody remembers Bernie Madoff.
Right.
And you can Google up people who have stolen money from their clients, and the list is page after page after page.
You ever go with that Googling up, you know? We encourage people to Google us up.
Yeah, Google. You can Google McNeil Aarons Lambert, and you're not going to find page after page of bad.
No.
All right. Hey, we need to take a quick time out and then come back with more. McNeil Aarons and Lambert Financial Group. You can find out more anytime at their website, malfinancial.com, malfinancial.com. Their office number 251-666-5000. Back in just a moment.
Please listen to an important clinical research opportunity. Are you 50 years or older and have been hospitalized recently or plan to be soon? Doctors are looking for volunteers for a research study evaluating an investigational vaccine designed to protect against Clostridium difficile, or C. diff, bacteria that can cause frequent diarrhea, abdominal pain, and inflammation of the colon, which, when severe, can be life-threatening. Patients with increased exposure to healthcare facilities and those who have taken antibiotics are at a higher risk of getting sick. If you have had multiple visits to the emergency room, frequent visits to the doctor, or hospitalizations of at least 2 nights in the last year, you may qualify. To learn more about this study and to see if you qualify, visit clovertrial.com or call 1-877-296-9458. That's www.clovertrial.com or 1-877-296-9458.
The worldwide phenomenon is back. Our 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet converge in Las Vegas for 2 nights. The iHeartRadio Music Festival Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders get access to tickets right sell out.
When was the last time you walked out of a mattress store feeling confident about your purchase? These places exist for one reason: for a highly trained, commission-driven salesperson to dupe you into spending way too much money on a mattress. Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm one of the co-founders of Casper. Casper was created with a single goal in mind: deliver a great night's sleep at an incredible value. So we hired a team of engineers and designers to develop a single perfect mattress that sleeps cool and has just the right sink and bounce. We sell the Casper mattress online, skipping the markups of mattress stores, and we let you try it out in your own home for 100 nights risk-free. In less than 3 years, we've rapidly become the internet's favorite mattress. In fact, it now has more than 20,000 reviews with an average of 4.8 stars. Try us out today.
Simply go to Casper.com and use code EVENT to get $50 towards your mattress purchase. Terms and conditions apply. That's gift code EVENT at Casper.com for $50 towards your mattress purchase. Casper.com. Thanks for checking us out.
You're listening to News Radio 710 WNTM. We're here with John McNeil, Ed Aarons, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. MALFinancial.com is the website for McNeil Aarons and Lambert Financial Group, MALFinancial.com. Now, in the last segment, I asked about the economy, an update on the market, the economy, and Ed Aarons, you were talking about how there are some forecasters, although no one really has a crystal ball, some forecasters were looking at a correction at some point. And if that is in the wind, what can somebody do to protect the 401k or the IRA or their other market investments? We don't want to have anything happen like happened in 2008. Yeah. I don't have enough life left to re-earn all that stuff.
Right. It was different back in 2008 if you were still putting money in, but if you're approaching retirement or already in retirement, you don't want to have a setback like we had in 2000, 2001, right, and then again in 2008. So as you know from our dinner meetings and listening to us all these years on Larry, we pretty much demand that we put defensive postures inside our clients' plan. We want to make sure that there's defense built in so that if something does occur, like what Ed was talking about, we're not going to be hurt. And a lot of times our defense is not only a combination of what Ed and Virginia do as far as putting together a portfolio of equity investments, but also incorporating in some cases these indexed annuities that don't lose if the market goes down. I just had a renewal on one of my clients, and inside his indexed annuity, he actually has 3 of them. Inside the indexed annuity, we split the monies up inside each annuity and timed to different indexes. He actually has some of his money. He has about a third of his money in a fixed account inside the indexed annuity. It's earning 4.25%. He has another third tied to the S&P 500, and he made 7% last year. And he has another third of his money tied to the S&P 500 that has different crediting method, and he earns 16.924%. So when we look at, and that's because the S&P had performed positively. If the S&P had performed negatively, he wouldn't have lost anything. He wouldn't have lost any of his original principal or any of his previous year's earnings. And we've had a pretty good run in the market. He put this money into this particular contract, I think in 2008, 2009. And so since 2009, we've had this bull market that Ed was talking about. He originally put in $100,000, and he now has $177,000. There are no fees or charges or anything. It's his money. He can get that money anytime he wants it. So that is a defensive posture for some of his portfolio. Of course, he got money in the market, got money in cash, got money in these indexed annuities to protect or put a defensive posture inside of a plan. And Virginia will talk about the plan in just a minute. But that's what we look at, whether it's for 401k or IRAs or just investments in the market. There is another idea of if people are over 59.5, they have an option of taking some of their 401k, if it's appropriate, and moving it to an IRA. And with an IRA, you've got a lot more investment options than you do.
So that's why you would do that at age 59.5 is to have more flexibility?
Yeah, and you still stay employed. You're still putting money in the 401k. We just, at 59.5, the plans allow you to do what's called an in-service non-hardship transfer. And you just transfer a part of your 401k possibly to an IRA. And then that
just builds in the defense that you can't do through most of the regular investments that the 401ks offer.
Right. The only defense really you have in a 401k is going into a money market account. And then you're not earning anything. So.
Okay, so that just being able to go into an IRA gives you so many opportunities to be safer.
To be safer for part of your portfolio, depending on your risk tolerance. And that's what we develop inside the plan.
Yeah, it's really important. It's not a one-size-fits-all or one size fits most by any means. As you know, we talk about this in the dinner meetings. When we sit down with somebody for the first time, before we actually implement a plan, there's at least 3 meetings, if not 4 or 5, to make sure that we know everything there is about that person, so that we can fit, so that we can build a plan that's specifically for them, that'll specifically fit their needs and their goals, because everybody has different goals and wants with their money. That's one of the biggest things we ask is, what is your goal in retirement? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to go to Europe every 3 months on a trip? Are you going to do that kind of income, or are you wanting to leave a bunch of money to your kids and grandkids, or are you trying to be charitably inclined? Do you want to set up something for charities and things like that? And so when we make the plan and sit down and develop that plan, it's very specialized to that family, and that's a big part of it. And we talked about this the other night. The plan is not complete or has not been followed through until it passes to the next generation. Till it's actually complete. Because up until somebody passes away, it's constantly being changed and tweaked and readjusted to fit their lifestyle. Because one of the biggest things that we see is people sit down with advisors 20 years ago and say, okay, this is my plan. And they might meet with the advisor, throughout once a year or every other year or even more frequently. But their plan, if they don't have a written plan, including everything, not just their investments with that advisor, but all their investments, 401ks and things like that, Social Security,
yeah.
But if they aren't constantly or monitoring and adjusting to fit what their needs are and their risk tolerances over that period of time, you're going to come out with a portfolio that's not really meeting your needs at that time, because your needs change. In somebody's late 20s and 30s and early 40s, they're probably looking at trying to put as much away, but also trying to raise a family. Having that extra cash flow to raise a family and things like that, saving for college and saving for this. And then in your 40s, where you really see a shift of really trying to save for retirement. Because a lot of times people think that they usually haven't, put enough away in retirement because they've had to do all these other things. So we're having a shift to, okay, now we're going to put extra in the retirement accounts and do that. And just adjusting all of those things and making sure that's still on track is really important.
Well, you talk about your clients' needs change, but don't over the course of decades, 10, 20, 30 years, don't returns on investment change? Some things are good investments 30 years ago, and then you might end up and they're not anymore. I mean, we see that with interest rates, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When the interest rates got really low, that changed a lot of people's plans, I guess.
Right, because if interest rates go sky high and you have a big bond portfolio, your bond, the bond value is going to be down. So that's a very big fact. Now, bond values don't go. I mean, they do change daily, but they don't. Usually don't plummet overnight like a stock could. But because interest rates are increasing or decreasing at a slower rate than stock prices that change every second. But it's still very important.
You revisit those buckets of money throughout the years just to make sure that the bucket is producing what you want it to produce?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because a lot of times people, when they're in their accumulation years, like Virginia said, 40s, 50s, and 60s, are trying to accumulate as much as they can. Those investments that you're putting money into during those accumulation periods are typically not the best place to have your money when we start drawing money out. They're designed to appreciate and accumulate. What we want to do is make sure as we get closer and closer to retirement in the red zone that we're shifting to buckets or assets inside buckets that are now going to be geared toward generating income that we're going to need when we no longer have a paycheck. And that's what's important. And we do that over a period of time. So it's important for us to know as much as we can about what you and your spouse are trying to accomplish, what kind of time frame, and that's what we do in our first meeting when they come to our office. It usually takes about an hour and 15 minutes in their first meeting.
We're going to take a break for weather and news, and then more with McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group. The website, malfinancial.com. You can call them at 251-666-5000, 251-666-5000. Back with more in just a moment.
Tomorrow morning at 5.
Syria,
Uncle Henry. Check. Has his checklist. Judge Neil Gorsuch. News, weather, traffic. Boom. Entertainment. Boom. Check. News Radio 710. WNTM. Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hi there, and happy Thursday. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn from Local 15 News. We've got a hot one coming our way today. We'll call it a high of 96, which is pretty close to the record high of 99. But when you factor in the humidity, we're talking 107 for the heat index later today with only a slim chance of a storm. For Local 15, I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Uber. If there's something you want to do before the summer's over and having some extra money can help, get your side hustle on and drive with Uber. It's a totally easy, flexible way to earn extra cash to help you meet your goals. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now.
Are you ready?
The iHeartRadio Music Festival. Capital One cardholder presale is on. Cardholders, get access to tickets right now. Tickets on sale to the general public tomorrow at 12 p.m. Go to iHeartRadio.com/Capital One before they sell out.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best.
Hi, I'm Congressman Mo Brooks. President Donald Trump promised to build a border wall to keep us safe and protect American jobs for American workers. But Democrats, and even some Republicans, obstruct funding for President Trump's wall. I make you this promise. Elect Mo Brooks to the U.S. Senate, and I will fight to fund the border wall. Right now, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats use the filibuster rule to kill our conservative America First agenda. Well, two can play that game. We must fight fire with fire. If I have to go to the Senate floor and filibuster to fund the border wall, I will do exactly that. America will build a border wall to keep us safe and to protect American jobs for American workers, or you will know the name of every senator who stands in our way and betrays the American people. I'm Congressman Mo Brooks. If you support a border wall, then vote Mo Brooks for Senate. I'm Mo Brooks, and I approve this message.
Let me surprise you with an interesting fact. You ready? Of all the media options today, AM/FM radio reaches the most people each week. Yeah, you heard me right. Radio is the leader, AM/FM. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio every week. That's bigger than TV, newspapers, even Google and Facebook. If you're a marketer and you need to improve your plans, remember, radio.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Friends, are you taking Viagra for ED? Well, you could be paying too much. Now you can take Sildenafil, the active ingredient in Viagra, for just $2 per tablet. $2 for a 20-milligram tablet, saving $40 per dose. Marley Drug is a North Carolina pharmacy delivering Sildenafil to your doorstep. Go to marleygenerics.com. That's MARLEY, marleygenerics.com. Or call 1-800